Page 14, Beach Buggy Boogie. Whew. There's a note at the top of this that we're going to swing the eighth notes. That's what it means anyway. So in the right hand, when we're playing this, of course you have triplets when the right hand first comes in, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2, and then swing the eighth notes. There's a staccato on that A. Next measure, an accent, and then it comes in on the and of 2 for the second chord, so be ready. It comes in between the two quarter notes in the left hand. So it's here. So be accurate with the rhythm on that. This rhythm type is pretty much all over the place. If you get that, you've got it. Not everywhere, but a lot of it. Go over to the top of page 15. Now, the notes are written here, starting with the last note in the first measure. There. Those. But it has an 8 VA, so we got to go up an octave, so it's up here. The AVA, keep it going, and the AVA continues for the first 3 lines on page 15. Then when you get to the bottom of page 15, on these triplets, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, and that is a staccato, and the next one is staccato, and then and that chord, as with any chord, the last measure on page 15, spell it out. E, G, A, C. That's the chord. On page 16, look at the first measure. The first 2 eighth notes are tied. I'm going to take out that tie temporarily and play all the notes. So it would be a rest to rest. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like so, because the left hand just has a whole note. It's not going to help you much. But once you can get that rhythm, then put the tie back in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like type thing. You work these out that way. Second line on page 16 in the right hand, and triplets again, 1 and 2 and this is just a roll. For the AC, they're telling you 2-4. I would do a 2-4 on the next one also, and then a 1-3. There's staccatos, so we can do this. For the next eighth notes coming up here, they're saying 1-2-1. That's okay. Frankly, I still prefer a 2-3. And then on page 16 in that second measure. Now this is all slurred. You're going to connect it. 3-5, then a 2-4, and then a 1-3, and then a 1-2. You're sliding the thumb off. The melody is the top note. That's what we need. The other one is harmony. In this case, we can't connect it because you can slide the thumb off. As long as you do it in time, you have to time it just right, but it can be done. But take a look at the last measure of the second line here. You're up here. It's the same idea, different notes. And then we 2-4, 1-3, and then 1-2. And you connect those okay. Third line, second measure, the notes are written here. But you're up here, it's an 8 VA. Last 2 lines, you got your triplets again. So 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. I recommend you put in the natural accent at the beginning of each triplet. 1, 2. Now I exaggerated that, but if you'll feel that, 1 and 2 and 3, it helps. At the end, last line, last couple of measures, Now on the first measure, that chord, that has an E flat in it. E flat, G, A, C. And then the last two notes, and that is a staccato. And then next chord is an E natural. And then here, watch the fingering. You can lift the hand up because it's not all connected. And that is a staccato, a B, D sharp, A, and then here. And you pedal the last little bit. I'm not going to show the pedal because you can do that, I'm sure, fine. For the left hand, at the beginning of this on page 14, they're saying 1, 5 on everything. I'm suggesting to you to get into the habit of using a 5-2 on the first ones, because this will help you later on, especially when you get into a really fast one. This is a fast one, by the way. It's just easier not to have the thumb do it all. It's here. I recommend you hang on to that fingering throughout this type of passage, regardless of the notes. So if you look at the third line down, it's the same kind of passage, different notes. I recommend a 5-2 for the FC. Everywhere it is. Now at the bottom of page 15, the last line, you're here, 5-1. You can go ahead and use 5-1 here if you want because they're all staccatos. But then in the last measure, go back to 5-2. On page 16, last line, first couple measures, no biggie, it's here. And then next measure, they're saying a 4-2-1 on that chord because you came off of here, and when you come off of here, it's easier to do the 4-2-1 on the chord. And that the pedal will connect it to the last staccato, and that's a staccato on that last note, so make sure the pedal comes up so you get a staccato. In the left hand, the staccato at the beginning. It's a nice light wrist staccato. You can use arm if you want, but keep it light. Just bounce off the keys. Now watch these accidentals, because an accidental is good from that point to the rest of the measure. For instance, take a look over on page 15. The last two measures there with those eighth notes you have here, you have a D sharp. That D sharp is still good. That last note in each of those measures is a D sharp. So watch the accidentals, they'll get you. Now if you're performing this and you got to turn the page, you don't want to mess up the rhythm. In this case, I would suggest the last measure of page 15 with the whole note. Play it more like a half note and a half rest. So raise up your right hand so you can turn the page, because you need this rhythm going in the left hand. You don't want to leave it out. You only have a moment to turn the page. Got to do it quick, but and keep the left hand going. Or memorize the first part of the measure in 16. Just memorize the first measure actually on page 16, because you're here. And then whenever you do the right hand, let the left hand go. And just let the right hand be by itself. And that way you can use your left hand to turn the page. It's up to you. Experiment with these page turns and you figure out which one you like better. And then go with that. Practice the page turn. If you're not going to memorize the piece, preferably you just memorize the piece. But if not, you got to work this page turn in so you don't mess up the rhythm. The beat goes on. Don't hesitate or nothing. Now, this piece is quick. They're saying a 144 on a thing. What's a 144? That's 144. Bum, 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 bum. And if I do it that fast, that's really fast. You don't have to take it that fast. You take it at your speed, whatever it is, but enjoy it. Now, when we're learning it, you're going to take it slow, because you got to get the rhythm and the accidentals and all that stuff. Ugh. So we're going to play it together very slowly. We're going to do pages 14 and 15. Turn the page, and then we'll do page 16. I'll count us in again with another 4 beats. Put your left hand here, right hand here, and foot's on the pedal, so it's ready to go. 1, 2, ready, go. Turn the page, put your hands where they go. I'm going to use second finger on the G and the F here and the here. 1, 2, and ready, and go. And